going through, so much struggle from having limited means and having limited opportunities in that part of the world, it really made me appreciate being given an opportunity. So that's why I'm a maximum effort person. I don't take things for granted.
Dude, Ellie, you are the best.
Yep.
You really are the best.
I mean, have her move to America and teach some of these young kids how to appreciate how good they got it.
Yeah, Gen Z, quit complaining about hedge funds buying up your homes, okay? You stupid pieces of shit.
To be fair, they couldn't afford them anyway.
Hello, masses. How are you? My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Did you see how I delayed a little bit there while you were taking that sip of Topo Chico?
It's professionalism.
Joining us today is, she goes by many names. We refer to her as the Balkan Biscuit. She is, the lover of Thing 2. She is Second Stew. She is Ellie. Thank you so much for joining us.
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we've got a little bit of a delay. It'll feel like, I'm not sure, it'll be like somebody doing a report from the field.
There you go. Yeah, you just wait. You ask the question, then wait for a second, and then they'll catch up to the question.
Right, but this isn't about war or global affairs. This is about...
more important things.
Exactly. So, Ellie, what's up? That's our first question. We start every interview by saying, what's up?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited to do this. It's been a wild ride already with this show.
Yeah.
Should hit bang for me out the gate.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now,
but it's only beginning. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Now, just to put the audience up to speed, Ellie, this isn't your first season technically on Below Deck. You got robbed. You got robbed in a past season where you came on, and what was your arc? Was it a 1.5 episode arc on, was it Med or was it OG?
Yeah, so I was originally on Below Deck Med season 7 in Malta. And I honestly thought I wasn't even going to join that season because it was 3 days to go before it ended. And then Kyle fell down the stairs and couldn't walk. So I jumped in to be his replacement for the last charters. It was 2 episodes.
Is that Pink Ass?
That was him. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
He'll be missed.
Yeah, no, he will be missed. So listen, we have a lot of listener questions to get into. We have a lot of questions from our own minds.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing good so far.
You're doing a great job. Yeah. It's been a while since Bravo has allowed us to speak to, excuse me, that we call you Seamarantz, to a cast member of the show.
Yeah.
And so we're a little nervous. It feels like the first day of school all over again.
Well, and also I'm quite high right now. I got this. You wouldn't believe this, Ellie, for one moment. You wouldn't believe this. I took a hit of this new pen, and it had a nostalgic, familiar flavor to me. I couldn't point it. I couldn't place it.
Bubble gum.
No. Blue Tootsie Pop, and I got it. Pulled it from the rafters. I was like, it's a blue Tootsie Pop.
Dude, I didn't even know we even talk about it. I technically was right in my answer.
So, Ellie, you've had a hell of a couple of episodes. I think we would be remiss if we didn't start from the point of origin of the drama with you and Jono, that being you waking up the chef. Now,
don't you think we should tease that? That's a little bit more of the juicy, because she ultimately knows what happens to Jono.
We're gonna tease it. Do not answer that question. We're gonna tease it. Pat, go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, so I just want to warn Ellie. We've solicited these questions that I'm about to ask from a group of our fan listening base called the Barnacles, and let me just warn you, they're rude, they're mean, and they can be insulting. Okay, so
it's what with the anonymity of the internet, people just kind of hide behind usernames and they can spout, whatever hatred they have. It's a very, very perilous place.
And I'll just go on record as saying they should not be allowed in polite society. These people are monsters, and the only reason we allow them to ask questions, Ellie, is it's like throwing meat to a wolf.
Yeah, and for all the fans who are wondering, Ellie will talk in the interview. At some point, I promise you.
Okay, so let's get out of the gate with question 1, and I warned you, Ellie. This is from Joseph Misner.
Okay.
All right.
He wants to know what the hell happened with that outfit on the first dinner. Why do you own those individual pieces? Why did you put them together? And why did you wear them on international television?
Okay. I hate that question.
Well, I hate it too, but this is what they want to know. Ellie, please explain yourself.
I have an answer for that outfit. That was not an outfit out of my repertoire. That was something the provisioner delivered as, the outfit for the evening to be on theme. So it wasn't my outfit.
Okay, there you go.
So take that, Barnacle.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, these will be some nicer questions.
Way to go, Ellie.
Okay, all right. Katie Lusender wants to know, who are you still in touch with from the show?
Ironically, my closest friend from the show is Jono.
Yeah. You guys have been really mixing it up quite a bit on social media, despite your virulent hatred for one another to begin the season.
Now, I think this is a pretty great question. This is also from Katie. She said, what horrible thing are you about to do on the show that Bravo would allow you to come and be asked questioned by us? Yeah. Because typically we get guests right before they're about to be fired.
Yeah, and the fans know our history very well, and that's a very good question. We can't talk about what happens next episode, but surely you are going to be doing some egregious, hedonistic and wrong things, maybe unethical, but we don't have a crystal ball.
I wouldn't say that. No. Well, I have quite a bit of drama this season. So the way the season started for me, that's how it's going to continue. I'm going to be going strong till the very end.
Fuck yeah. Well, so let's get to something that, the Jono stuff we'll get to in a second. But you and Bree, who we refer to as Cheese. You guys had a beautiful kind of budding relationship, a mentor and is it a mentee? It's a mentee. Until Thing 2 got involved, a.k.a. Joe. Now, how are you and we don't need to get into the future of the show, but do you regret kind of not being more transparent about your desires for Thing 2, because both of you were very tepid and half measury with him, and then you're both going for him, and it's just it's a communication breakdown. Led Zeppelin song. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, in retrospect, I don't feel like any of that was worth it, but we'll see why. But honest, yes, I do wish I was more transparent with Brie, and we need to see next episodes to see what happens, because that's when the whole thing is really going to evolve.
All right.
There are going to be quite a few events that happen in the next episode before that whole blow up happens between us.
Okay.
Ellie, you're a pretty honest person. Why in that laundry room conversation with Cheese did you not just say, hey, I like him, I'm starting to feel? Because you were telling other people on the boat that. Why not be upfront with her?
Yeah. So, if you pay attention to what she's saying to me, she said to me, I thought you liked him because you said you did. She said that twice. So she does express awareness that I did say to her I liked him. So, but at that point, I'm kind of still trying to, give her some wiggle room, because I really didn't want to get into drama with her over Joe, Right. And then that night after the whole party, that's kind of like giving it away. But
yeah.
I am going to make it very clear that I am interested in him.
Things will ensue. Yes, things will ensue. Now, listen. Do you believe in the claim you have over Joe regarding, or as credited to your status of second stew, with her being a third? Do you think that makes you more, you're first in line for Joe?
No. So I really thank you for that question. I really want to have a chance to explain how I saw this whole thing.
Yeah.
So because I felt like, by Bree's own admission, I felt like I did say to her multiple times that I like this guy. And also I did properly train Bree. So it wasn't just a matter of giving her a notebook. Like, I took the time to train this girl to do everything in laundry, from, how to organize things, how to fold things, which settings to use. Like, I really trained her properly. And I think that because of that training, she essentially managed to keep her job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because of that, I'm like, okay, I think I deserve a little bit of respect from you. That's how I would see a person who saved my job, who cared enough about me to go out of their way to train me and save me.
I'm going to push back against that.
I'm not going to push back. I'm not going to push back at all, because when you said it in the show, you said, I'm the second stew, so I get thing two. I thought that was absolutely insane of you to say. But with you breaking it down the way you just did, it makes perfect sense.
By the way, you are an amazing mentor, Ellie, to watch. Corporate America will be reaching out to have you train some of their
Don't say yes. Yeah, they will promise you a corporate ladder, and you will not climb fast enough, and they will lay you off. Okay, that's how it works.
All right. Can we get to Jono, whatever?
Well, can I really? We're talking about the mentorship really quickly.
Of course.
Just wanted to add like one more thing here.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I always compare Bree's relationship to me to my relationship to Aisha, because I was kind of in the same relationship with Aisha, because Aisha gave me a chance to kind of grow in my position and trained me as well.
Right.
So I always think that, you know, if Aisha had said to me specifically she liked some guy on board, I would not have gone there with him out of respect for her.
Right. Got it.
Well, I mean,
That's how I see things.
It's playing the game well.
People see things differently.
It's playing the game well, Ellie, but I think in society, it's the hierarchy of a work environment should not play as a factor in your love lives.
Listen, Ellie, I'm on your side completely. I think Pat is being way out of line and disrespectful, quite frankly. Quite frankly, rude and disrespectful. We're having a little bit of camera issues right now. We're freezing a little bit, but there you are. We're going to get it back. The audio is the most important part, and everything's going swimmingly. So should we get to Jono?
Okay, well, Christian Delbove asks, if Jono's chef skills were a car, would it be a Lambo, a Mazda, or a Trabant? What the hell is that? Let's just say a Geo Metro.
No, let's put golf cart in for Geo Metro, okay? Because people know what a golf cart is.
Okay.
Car heads.
Chef skills, where would you rate him? Because you love using cars as an analogy for someone's skill set.
Right.
So where would you put his skill set? Is he a Lambo, a Mazda?
Or a golf cart.
Or a golf cart.
Jono's, and here's the thing, I love Jono as a person, and I would love to defend his chef skills. I would love to do that, but I can't. Right now, I can't. He might improve. Let's give him a chance.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But right now, his chef skills are like a vintage Volkswagen Beetle.
Okay, got it.
You know it's going to break down on you. You're just waiting to see when and how bad the damage is going to be this time around.
Right. Like, you'll get from point A to point B, but you might taste like spoiled chicken when you get there. Yeah.
All right. Tara Anderson wants to know, okay, can you put us in the mindset of that night where you were waking up Jono? And because this listener
really
wants to know.
Me? You put, when I've been writing my notes, you put an H after the O. And then it reads as Jono.
Jono.
Right.
Jono. Well, Captain Sandy calls him Jono too.
Well, Captain Sandy is, listen, we're conducting an interview right now, so let's not get into it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we could ask, is Captain Sandy a Camaro or a Geo Metro?
We're not gonna get into that. Let's go back to night Jono, okay? You wake up Jono, the children are screaming at you. We need booze, we need cheese. What took place?
Oh my God, that night I felt like I was paying off a karmic debt.
Yeah.
That night.
Yeah.
It was that bad. So here's the thing, like, we didn't have wine. So I was making cocktails literally nonstop. I would deliver a batch of cocktails. They're already asking for the next batch. Like I didn't even have enough breathing room to wash the glasses. I had glassware everywhere. So on top of that, they asked for this food. They're like, oh, what about that food? Because they put it on their preference sheet. They were expecting this food to be ready, you know?
Right.
And somebody remembers, they're like, oh, what about all that, mac and cheese and guac and nachos and grilled cheese? Is that around? I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
I'm just, so in my mind, I'm thinking, look, I know Jono has gone to bed. I get it. Is it reasonable to wake him up every single night? No, of course not. But tonight, yes, it is. Because one, it was on the sheet and you didn't do it. Like you blatantly disregarded a guest request.
Right.
And secondly, we spent the entire day saying no to these people.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they're 20-year-olds, if they're influencers, they're paying customers,
Yeah.
So this was our one chance to really go the extra mile because it was in our power to deliver this. It would have been like that one thing they had and they could say, oh my gosh, look, they went the extra mile for us.
Right.
Yeah, I asked for an Atari game system for Christmas in 1983. My mother didn't get it for me.
Didn't get it.
I'm still holding a grudge now. It's been nearly 45 years.
Ellie, you're a good egg. I mean, I love Ellie. She just sees the C-Rat world the right way.
Mel Byer, who also works in the industry, a fellow traveler, she says, and she's no fan of this podcast, by the way, she wanted to know, why not just make the drinks first? It takes 2 minutes, apparently, according to her.
Well, yeah, because I just explained that there was no breathing room between drink orders.
Yeah.
And also, the second thing is the grilled cheese situation. It was not as easy to make grilled cheese on that boat that night as it might seem to people.
Yeah,
because it's not a matter of just like opening the fridge and pulling out the cheese and getting the panini press. We got provisions at the last minute. So there was no time to organize the fridge. Like we're talking walk-in fridge, shelves, crates of food stacked upon each other, right? So everything just got thrown into crates. Nothing's labeled. I don't know. Like I'm walking into this fridge. I'm like, where do I even begin looking for these ingredients?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm digging through crates of food.
Yeah.
I couldn't even find bread for the longest time. Butter, even Gail went in there looking for butter.
Now, to be fair to Jono, he apologized.
Where's the jam? Where's the jelly and all this?
This is
crazy.
This is where I felt, and I can't get back in a time machine, but he should have gotten up and at least helped a little bit and showed you around and then went back to bed. That seems like that was be a nice compromise.
Come on, Jono. I mean, and these chefs, these chefs, they make chicken with coconut and rosemary, and then they go to sleep. Meanwhile, you're up at night getting screamed at by, barely legal children who are trying to get pissed drunk. Do you guys ever, is shots not a great detractor? Like, can't you just mix a couple shots, bring them out there?
They're done in 2 seconds, I think. That's why.
I know.
You want them to sip on something and stay busy for a half hour.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
And also, if you look at the footage, there were quite a few scenes where they show glasses nearly full sitting around everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was also another thing. They would order cocktails and they were so drunk they would just forget to even have a cocktail and just keep asking for more cocktails. It's right there.
Yeah.
Been there, sister.
Hey, sister, been there. Can I ask one?
Of course.
Can I? Real quick. So. Balkan Biscuit, aka Ellie, were you pissed, cheesed, hurt, betrayed when you got to the tip meeting after that charter? And Sandy seemed to have a kind of leadership conference optimism about how the charter went, despite it being an objective, unmitigated fucking disaster. But when it came to you waking Jono up, she was a little bit more, I don't know, the knives were out. Did you feel like that set you guys off on a bad foot? Did you have a chip on your shoulder for the rest of the season? What was that like?
Well, I mean, I clearly was not happy with that. I would have been happy with that statement being made after I got some credit for my efforts, or after Jono got a little bit of reprimand for, his lack of efforts.
Yeah.
After that, if she said, in the future, don't make the chef, I would have had no issue with that statement.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Last question to beat up on Jono. Tara wants to know, actually, that's physical assault there. She wants to know, have you ever...
It's physical assault. I mean, we can't ask that
I can't ask that question.
We can't ask that question.
Have you ever worked with a chef that refused to feed paying customers? I think that's a great question.
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
No. No, I was shocked. And not only that, not only did he say he's not gonna get up, he was like quoting the maritime law at me. That's why I was in the cabin for like 10 minutes. You know, he was citing maritime law. He's gonna get his lawyers involved. I'm like, maritime law? I've been up for 25 hours straight. I haven't had a break. If anybody needs to call their lawyer, it's me.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. These boats.
All right. Here's a question for you. Our own Chief Stewart, our Facebook admin.
Hey, Chief Stu.
He wants to know, how does coming from the part of the world with such a turbulent recent history affect your desire for security and the better things in life? Your cheerful and determined persona is refreshing and inspiring. I think he wants to know how bombs being dropped on your town affected you.
Chief Stu, that was such an amazing question, and I'm so sorry that Pat put a lump of shit on top of it the way that he did. But Ellie, could you speak to the beauty in that question, please?
Yes. Thank you. And I appreciate that beautiful question. Thank you. I mean, that has definitely affected my life in a positive manner, actually, because what it did for me is it put things into perspective. And I think that's what a lot of people lack these days is perspective.
Yep.
You know? So a lot of misery comes from lack of perspective. And that's kind of what allows me to be a happy person and be like, I'm actually not doing that bad.
Yeah.
It's getting way worse, you know?
Yeah.
And also, you know, going through, you know, so much struggle from having limited means and having limited opportunities in that part of the world, it really made me appreciate being given an opportunity. You know, so that's why I'm a maximum effort person. I don't take things for granted.
Dude, Ellie, you are the best.
Yep.
You really are the best. I mean,
have her move to America and teach some of these young kids how to appreciate how good they got it.
Yeah, Gen Z, quit complaining about hedge funds buying up your homes, okay? You stupid pieces of shit.
To be fair, they couldn't afford them anyway. Hey, Anna Andalesic wants to know, what's your end game? Is it to be a Chief Stew in a couple years? Do something outside of the industry?
Because your social media is less so below deck and more so you in clothing that's not really clothing, kind of. So what? She's
an influencer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So when it comes to social media, I love the fitness niche. So I've worked in the spa for many years. So I know quite a bit about, you know, health and fitness and all that. So I want to focus my social media on that. But outside of that, I really like skills. I thrive on skills. So one of the reasons why I still want to persevere in yachting is because like there are still aspects to yachting that I haven't conquered. You know, there are still more skills I can learn, and that's what makes me excited about it. So I actually, when I got back from the show, I found some smaller boats, like 30 meters, and I freelanced as a solo stew. So I've been on an absolute mission to get my skill levels up.
Dude. You are such a fucking rock star, Ellie. I cannot wait to see you for the rest of the season. We cannot thank you enough for your time.
Can we do a couple? I know we're running out of time.
Did that sound like a wrap up? That
sounded like a wrap up.
That wasn't a wrap up. Who could have confused that for a wrap up?
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to some juicy questions. First off, I saw you on Watch What Happens. It was fantastic. One of our bits, which were apparently stolen, was the Mary F. Kill, which it felt like they did a half-hour version of that for you on that show.
No one did Mary F. Kill before we did Mary F. Kill. Okay, and that's just a fact.
So I'll spare you that. But here are some juicy questions that the listeners want to know. Ever hook up with a charter guest?
A charter guest? No.
Too pro. Too big of a pro.
Too pro. Okay. Worst charter ever story.
Worst charter ever. I don't really have a worst charter because I've worked on like uber luxury yachts for multi-billionaires. So it's a little bit different being with that type of people than working on a booze cruise in Miami.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I do have a worst spa story. When I joined my first cruise ship as a massage therapist, within like a week, I got this guy in my massage room, this older gentleman. And I left the room to let him, lay down and cover himself. I got back in and I'm looking at this man. He's literally butt naked, thankfully facing down. And next to him is a wad of cash. I'm like, oh, Lord. I see where this is going.
Yeah,
He refused to talk to himself. I'm like, can we please just put a towel? This is like my first week on board. I'm like, I don't want to cause problems.
Did you tell John Travolta that you'd rat him out?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. I made a John Travolta joke. He got in a little trouble doing the same thing a couple years back.
You know, John Travolta jokes.
No.
Me neither, Ellie. Ellie, when you're around these uber rich creeps, do they feel colder than other human beings? You know, what we talked about, you know, the beauty of hardship kind of forging perspective. Are their perspectives reptilian and horrifying? Are they cold?
Are their eyes black?
Yeah, kind of like like a grim. Like,
No.
yeah.
I always use an example. The richest man I worked for, he had a 140-meter yacht. So he was literally the richest man in his country. And it was so interesting observing how he behaves and his family as well, you know? And it really made me feel like I value my life more than anything. Because, you know, his kids, they had everything, but they didn't know how to appreciate it. Because, again, it's the perspective that makes you appreciate things. And it was kind of sad, to be honest. It was sad to see human beings who literally have what people dream of and not know how to appreciate it.
Yeah.
But for him, for example, you know, like at that level, you're surrounded by people who just want to please you. Like nobody has the balls to say no or oppose you in any way.
Yeah.
And I just took the most genuine approach with him. I was like, the same way I'm talking to you guys right now, that's how I talk to him as well. And we created like such a close bond. He felt, you know, it was so refreshing for him to have somebody like that around. So
well, you should make you CEO of his company.
Sorry?
You should make you CEO of his company.
Pat, are you on fucking
She's
bath
good.
salts right now?
She's positive. She's great at work. She respects the hard work.
You know what? I agree. You should be the CEO of his company. You absolutely should.
you.
Now listen.
That's all I got. I think she was great. She's inspiring. I know you're not going anywhere.
Inspiring.
There's no way that she's getting fired.
No.
I mean, sometimes it's literally a coin flip with people we have come on as guests.
Well, I mean, less of a coin flip, you know? I mean, it's like a 6-sided dice, and most of them say fired some of the time. You know?
But not Ellie.
Not Ellie.
Thank you. And I just want to say, I know how that preview looks at the end of this episode. And please hold off your pitchforks until you see next episode.
Or sharpen them and throw them at her. It's a free country. Ellie, thank you so much for joining us. Socials, real quick, what can we plug for you?
Oh, just my Instagram, the Balkan Biscuit, and everything is in my link there.
All right. I'm really excited. Next time you're in LA, you got to come to the studio. You got to we got to talk about the part of the world that you're from, because it's a fascinating place and we don't know enough about it.
I don't think it's still there.
I'd be happy to. Thank you, guys. You're the best. You're my favorite Below Deck Recap podcast.
Oh, you say that to everybody. Thanks, Balkan Biscuit.
Thanks, Balkan Biscuit. No, I believe it.